252.
Hey, welcome to another episode of 252. Frank G here, along with
Johnny Blaze, Cool Water Kurt,
Ralphie D.
Today we're talking Eddie Murphy. The entire career spanning, however many films he's been in. Some were great, some were super great, some were terrible, some were super terrible. But, we'll probably talk more about the great ones because those are the ones we've seen a million times. Who wants to kick off the Eddie Murphy isms?
Who wants to start?
You know what? Eddie Murphy's middle name is Regan.
I did not know that.
Is it Regan or Reagan? Regan, R-E-G-A-N.
Reaganomics sucks. No shit, motherfucker. Tell me something I don't already know. That's right. We're going to start with Raw. Or was that Delirious? I don't know. That was both funny as shit.
I'm saying.
I would have to say Eddie Murphy's stand-up comedy blew me away at a very young age. I was not supposed to be listening to that. But that first line where he said, if y'all thought I was going to be out here with the buckwheat wig on, y'all in, for a surprise.
Frank, how old were you when you first heard Delirious? And did you hear Delirious first and then Raw?
Delirious first by far because Raw wasn't even a thing for a couple more years.
Right, that's right.
I heard Delirious first as Eddie Murphy Comedian, actually the cassette version.
That's right.
Which 7th grade, Ed Kamakiana said, "Here, I got this Eddie Murphy tape." I'm like, "Cool, party all the time." And he's like, I took that home. Took it home and they had the headphones on and like, laughing for immediately from the beginning to end.
Yes. And
most of the stuff on there was above our heads, but we knew it was stuff we were not supposed to be hearing.
Hey, boy. Listen, you look mighty cute in them jeans.
Knowing that the stuff was going over our heads, but the comic timing and you knew when to laugh. I mean, it was just...
We got some of those jokes. Like, school made sure we understood some of those jokes.
Yeah,
that stuff got translated down through the older kids, I think.
I think the worst part was a very young Cool Water Kurt not understanding the jokes, but reciting the jokes word for word in mixed company.
At church?
Not at church.
This is very much like the beginning of Raw. Then the monkey started doodling on him.
And he kicked him in the ding-ding.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah. I was one of those... rare ones. I heard Delirious first, and it might have been your tape.
Yeah, and I think I got your tape, which
was a copy of his tape, which was a copy of my tape. Yes. You got.
Mine was definitely on a TDK or a Maxwell thing. Written.
What was on the other side of it?
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck did I have on the other side? It was probably a Cosby album at the time.
Yeah, mine was definitely, if you would see it, you wouldn't be thinking there was a bunch of flarn film on it.
All right.
And
it was always the disguise. You have to even the tapes that had any bit of a, this tape's got boobs on it. I'm going to label this Yo MTV Raps. Mom will never put this in.
Don't fly slamming rap
videos.
Yeah.
My first, I'm not even going to say my first movie experience, but probably chronologically, Trading Places, was that Eddie Murphy's first movie?
1983.
I want to say
48 Hours was first.
Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis. Of course, you have Mortimer and the Dukes.
The Dukes. It was the Dukes. It was the Dukes.
Billy Ray Valentine. That was really right there. It was showing you the trajectory that you knew he was going to be somebody
destined for stardom.
Yes. Destined for stardom. Yeah. And then 48 Hours with him and Jack Cates, Nick Nolte. I mean, great movie. And then you have Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live, for which I think it was, 3 or 4 seasons. And Eddie Murphy was credited with saving Saturday Night Live. And I don't think I'm misspeaking on this, but the ratings were in the toilet before
you got there.
Before he got there. That cast that he was with, but mostly him. He was the breakout star. I want to say he was 18 years old at the time.
Yeah, 1980. So when was he born?
Yeah.
1980 to 84.
Yeah, so I think he was on that cast. He was the breakout star, and Eddie Murphy is credited not only being the breakout star on that cast, but he's the only Saturday Night Live cast member that was a regular cast member at the same time that he hosted Saturday Night Live. Because there was one show where Nick Nolte was supposed to be the host, but he had fell ill. He was sick, so they gave Eddie, you are the host of the show.
Nick Nolte was always sick. He always looked sick.
I believe he was on a strong
Nick Nolte when he's done up
bender.
well, yeah. At his finest, he looks like a bad mugshot.
I know.
Come on, convict, what do you think I've been drinking?
Yeah. My favorite Nick Nolte scene in the Hulk movie, which was so bad. And when he did that, that's how I felt in the movie theater, sitting there that whole time. And he's blah, 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 blah. He just, that couldn't have been in the script.
That's what happened when they said action. It just came out of it.
The two movies that we just said, there is a third in that trifecta of movies, Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
That all came out in the same year or two.
Well, and Beverly Hills Cop was even more special because that movie was originally written for Sylvester Stallone.
Yes. And it was supposed to be more of an action movie.
It was supposed to be more of an action movie, and when they put Eddie Murphy in it, they were like, okay, it's still an action, but we're going to do an action comedy playing into Eddie Murphy's strengths. And we had Damon Wayans had a small bit part in that movie.
That's right, yeah.
What were you? Valky Bartokomous was in it.
Valky, yeah. Had a recurring role in...
Would you like with the lemon twist?
Yeah. Who else was in that? Actually, Bronson Pinchot
Belky
was
had an accent.
He
Had to fake an accent for every role he was in for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And he finally got to True Romance. Like, Belky speaks English.
I was so surprised.
Excuse me, can I go? Officer Dimes? I'm done here now, right? I'm done? How do you know
His name? How does he know your name?
Who was the actor who was covering for him in Detroit? Another comedian?
Paul Reiser.
Paul Reiser.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Paul Reiser
young,
again.
rising Paul Reiser.
This was really a really good cast. Judge Reinhold, Ronnie Cox.
Yeah, Ronnie Cox.
Yeah. Everybody was good except
And I am
Taggart.
Judge Reinhold.
I mean, what did Taggart do after the Beverly Hills Cop 2, right?
Beverly Hills Cop 3?
He was in
Was
some
he
other,
in
he was in
three?
some
No, I
other
don't
stuff.
think he was.
Taggart.
He was in some other stuff. He played that same character in like a ton of movies that we never saw, or you didn't notice because it was like, oh, that guy shaved his mustache. Now it doesn't look like
Yeah,
that.
it don't
It
look
looks
like
like
him,
Dennis,
yeah.
Dennis Franz.
I'm like, ooh, you in a movie with some heavyweights.
Oh, yeah.
And, you got to stick your game up.
Now imagine though, if that was originally cast for Stallone, they were to the point of almost making the movie with him. All those people were supposed to be his supporting cast. It makes a lot more sense.
Right.
Sure. It just looks like they dropped Eddie Murphy into this film and say, "Here, go," and they had to rewrite half the script to fit in
Probably
his humor.
rewrote it. I mean, I don't know the history of that part.
Had to rewrite it. Yeah, there was no way Stallone was delivering any of those
I'm
jokes.
saying,
Stallone was not going, "I am not listening to Jeffrey. I am not listening to Jeffrey." It wasn't going to happen. Yo.
oh, that would have been awful.
Yeah. Wait, I was gonna say before we get out of this, because those were 3 hits in a row, like you had said.
Boom,
it was like
boom.
boom, boom, boom. And once you got into 48 hours, again, you're talking about a great cast. You got Eddie, you got Nick Nolte, you got James Remar, you got Billy Bear.
Billy Bear, yes.
I mean, the arc that went over there, that was, and it was a grimy San Francisco backdrop, lovely, like the way they did their sets and everything, and he was Billy Ray was doing all this stuff, and he was trying to give the girl the money, right?
Oh yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh, kids, look at my car." Oh wait, no, that was 2. Was that 2?
No, that was 1 when he.
No,
was it 2?
That was 2.
That's right.
That was
the
2.
car was messed up.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I gotta say, when I was I went to boot camp in October 1990, and it spilled through the holidays into January, early January when I got out, and we spent Christmas. I spent Christmas at boot camp, and the senior drill instructor came in with 2 movies. I cannot remember what the other movie was, but there was another 48 Hours. He had another great action film, and we voted and we watched Another 48 hours. I was sitting on
I am having a very bad day.
I was sitting on
I was just let out of prison. So far, I've been on a bus. I rolled over 17 times. Bitch tried to cut me in the bathroom. Now, this man, Jack Cates, he's about to straighten out the rest of my day.
Yeah, I was sitting on a cold concrete floor with about 100 other people.
Right.
And we're all just looking at this little TV
I'm sure.
playing the taste. Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
And that's my memory of another 48 hours. Never forget it.
Never forget.
That's the first time I saw it.
Another 48 hours. Again, classic tropes of a sequel was not as good as the first,
Right.
but you had those familiar characters and you wanted to watch and you wanted to enjoy the movie.
And you
Still
had
a
the
good
song,
movie, though.
The
Yeah.
Boys Are Back in Town,
The boys-
as you have to do.
With the Bus Boys, and now we talk about Raw. When he was talking about the Bus Boys, he goes, when you go to the Bus Boys' house, the fish stop swimming.
That was also delirious because the Bus Boys opened for that tour.
Oh, did
So
you?
people got to see the Bus Boys, and then they got to see Eddie Murphy. So yeah, he was. That's why he was riffing on that.
Now,
Wow.
going into Raw, you can't watch Raw today. In today's world, there's a, you talk about some political incorrectness.
Lord,
The
no.
whole,
Okay. I say, is there? But yeah, like the whole in
man,
the
the
beginning,
whole
there's a whole
pop where
bunch.
he's talking about, I can't even go into San Francisco because
Yeah.
he was
Right.
talking about, yeah, he said not even a siren. It'd be,
Somebody on top of the car.
yeah, he did not say that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
A lot of F words.
Yeah, but and it was like, woo. But I just want to talk about this now. There was a period in the '80s where the popularity of Eddie Murphy was so big that just having him on your poster was enough for you to get seats, to get asses in the seats in the movie theater. Yes,
Oh.
I'm talking about you, Best Defense.
Best
That
defense.
movie
Wow.
is
Eddie Murphy
awful.
was on the movie poster.
And he was in the movie for approximately 11 minutes. And that
Oh,
movie
wow.
is an hour, probably 45.
I remember the poster. He had this little picture of Dudley Moore, who was the actual star of the movie, and then Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy,
In the tank.
huge
Yeah.
in the tank, smiling.
It's like in a tank, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That movie's bad.
Not
That
in the
was
movie.
bad.
Yeah, no,
I don't think I ever
he's
watched.
in the movie.
I watched part of it.
That
with
was
Click.
They did the same
Yeah,
thing
it's
with
nuts.
Ice
Awful.
Cube and Glass Shield. Had him all
yeah, he's on the
the poster.
Yeah.
Not in the
Every
movie.
time I see the poster for that movie, I'm like, oh yeah, Ice Cube's in that.
Yeah,
Not
barely.
really. Not
Barely.
really.
Steven Seagal in Executive Decision.
wow.
All on
Hey,
the poster.
Spoiler alert.
Oh. Hey, you say spoiler alert. If the movie is 20 years or older, it's on you. Fuck you, America, if you haven't seen it
And
yet.
if the spoiler you're saying is in the first 5 minutes of the movie,
Hey,
it's not a spoiler.
that's
It's the
joke.
beginning.
It's the beginning.
Yeah.
You spoiled the beginning, bastard.
Drew Barrymore, all on the cover of Scream.
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore, not in Scream.
Hey, she was in.
She was supposed to be, and then she decided she wanted the different role to try to do the clever thing that they did.
Yeah.
And but that was after the stuff was already printed up, so they ran with it and said, "Okay, now it's extra clever because everyone's going to be completely confused."
We came to see a Drew Barrymore movie and we got
waiting for it to
stuck
come
with a
back.
Nev Campbell movie. The chick from Party of Five, get the...
Hey,
And what is future FP Jones doing here too? I don't know.
Yeah, Skeet Ulrich. That's a name, huh?
I know.
Skeet.
His
Did
dad
you-
named him after he came.
You beat me to that joke.
Just like Skeet's dad. Wow.
Oh.
This is going off the rails. All right. So, coming to America, can you think of a more iconic movie with more, lines that you say to this day?
And it was successfully sued. They stole the script.
Yeah,
And the
Art-
guy
Art
who wrote
Buchwald.
he wrote the script and sued him successfully. So great movie, love it,
Yes.
and written by someone else.
Well,
And he's going to get paid too because they're making the sequel, and that's going to have to extend because he didn't create the characters, but he created the plot. I guess if the plot is entirely different, they could get away with it, but it seems like they'd still have to pay him something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Name alone.
Going back just onto the love of the actual movie before you get into the hard line of it, you talk about, again, another amazing cast of characters that we didn't even know were going to be as big as they are in that movie.
Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio Hall, not who I was talking about. But Samuel L. Jackson, very small role,
Very memorable role.
very memorable role, huge career. Cuba Gooding Jr.
Not on the poster.
Not on.
Not on the poster. Cuba Gooding Jr. Extremely small role.
No lines.
No lines, just smiling. You know, who knew? A couple years later, he was going to
Show
get Boys
him
in the
the
Hood. Next thing you know, Show Me the Money. He's getting that.
Next thing you know, Snow Dogs.
Yes, well, things that go up eventually have to come down.
You didn't like
Boat Trip.
No, I did not like Snow Dogs. Wow, that's a bad movie.
Vanessa Calloway. Who else? I mean, so many.
The Soul Glow dude.
Eric LaSalle.
Eric LaSalle.
There you go.
He was in Logan.
That's him.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Definitely.
You know? And he was like, hey, man, I'm going to help you, Wolverine. Spoiler
Always
alert,
kill
it doesn't pay to help Wolverine. It does not pay. Get your whole fucking family killed.
Wiped out.
Now that's a spoiler alert.
That's definitely a spoiler.
But Eric LaSalle was in it. He also got ER. He was it ER that he was on? Yeah. He was on ER for a bunch of years. You know? Great cast. And somebody had made the joke that hopefully in Coming to America 2, you will see the bonding of Zamunda and Wakanda come together. And I would pay good money.
That's coming to America 3 is actually
and
Black
don't
Panther
forget,
2 when they get to
she's
the
your
middle round.
Queen to be.
I mean, come on. Darth Vader's in the movie.
Oh,
You got.
and then, what did we say? If James Earl Jones didn't play the king in Coming to America, you wouldn't have got him in The Lion King.
Ooh.
His presence was so good as that king.
Yeah.
In Coming to America, Disney was like,
What is that? Velvet?
yeah,
I love John
Also, they
Amos.
had John Amos in there
He was
too.
really
John
great.
Amos.
Just a lot of all those people together. John Amos, James Earl Jones, and Samuel L. were in a film together,
Yeah.
and none of them was the star.
Exactly. That's so crazy. You know, that is so crazy. And another part where I was going to say, what was it? This was, I want to say, the first movie where Eddie Murphy played multiple. I want to say 7 movies where he played a multiple character.
Yeah.
Because not only did he play
Louis Anderson.
no, he didn't play.
That was a great costume.
He played. Not only did he play the barbershop barber, but he also played the old Jewish man who sat and
Lucky Marciano.
he beat Joe Lewis's ass. Joe Lewis was 100 years old.
Sexual chocolate.
Sexual chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
See, oh, God, see, look at that. All you have to do is say
Sexual chocolate. What was the song? There was a Whitney Houston song. What was the
Leave the
Children of our future. Thank you. Teach them well. Let them
That was
do
good.
it. Good and terrible. Hey, boy, this is a chicken. Oh, man, what you I thought it was a trash can. No, man, it's a
And
collection.
Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio Hall played
characters.
multiple characters.
I want to
They
go
dressed in-
home and watch it again now.
They dressed in drag.
They
in this
dressed in
movie.
drag.
I mean, they pulled out all.
And
the
I
stops.
believe Arsenio Hall's character, who dressed in drag, that is clearly the person that Eddie had sex with on the low, and that's the person he has to come back for his long lost child in number 2. It's her, you and your friend. Akeem and Semi ran a choo-choo
Vicious
train
train on
on the and had a baby.
Wow.
Coming out in America. That's the sequel.
Coming out.
That's good.
Oh, we love you, and we also will satire you. Going again, where I was going with that before I went on a horrible train to the left. That was the first of many times where Eddie Murphy did play multiple characters. One of the movies that is surprisingly, I actually took a poll at work, and you would be surprised to believe how many of these millennials when I said, "What is your favorite Eddie Murphy movie?" They said The Nutty Professor.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, yeah, it's like when they met him, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose the question is, what is your favorite Eddie Murphy movie?
Oh, it would probably be. I got this either Harlem Nights or Boomerang, one of the two. We haven't talked about either one of those.
All right, top
yet.
two. Well, name.
Harlem
I mean,
Nights and Boomerang.
to me, this is one of those impossible questions because I'll say Boomerang. No. Coming to America. No, you know, it was my favorite.
No, Bowfinger.
Bowfinger. Oh!
movie. That's my favorite Eddie Murphy movie.
Of course, man, because during that time in the 80s and 90s, it was almost like a can't miss formula. You put this man in your movie, it's going to make a buck. And he's going to be good. Not just good, he's going to be magnetic and he's going to bring you in. You're going to quote him.
Sometimes they don't make a buck. And then we have we didn't talk about the Golden Child.
Golden Knife.
Now,
nobody saw that movie. And it's barely become a cult classic, but we've seen it and can quote it extensively.
Brother Moosey.
Noopsie, my brother.
What was it? Wait, what did he say in Trading Places? What was the line where he played the guy in the dashiki. What was it? Oh God, that's gonna blow me right now.
I ain't got it right now. I don't have it. No, I was gonna say, Golden Child was great. I mean, the CG was awful. It was 1980.
You mean when Brother Noopsie turned into a dragon or something?
Yeah, that was bad.
He's like, you just gonna put that book, you just gonna leave it right there, it's gonna freeze up and cut you.
A lot of great. If Eddie Murphy wasn't in that movie, it would have been the worst.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think the movie was that bad. I don't know why people didn't go see it.
Well,
it wasn't a blockbuster, but it was really entertaining.
It was too serious for an Eddie Murphy film, and it wasn't serious enough to break out of it. Like it was, people weren't sure if it was a comedy or not.
Right. Also,
it really wasn't.
The premise of it was almost too much because your Eddie Murphy played his character was someone who looked for abducted children. So that's already a heavy plot line that he's searching out, and he's looking for lost kids and stuff like that. So you get this kid who's kidnapped, and they're doing all this stuff. It was kind of hard to look at,
and that's serious. And then on the dumb side, of that dumb hat that he was wearing.
That hat was not good. I was not a fan of that hat. I remember Brothers was wearing that hat after that movie came out. They was wearing that hat, and I hated the leather chef hat. I don't even know what that is.
What's that hat?
It's not a beret. It's not a
for men.
Yeah,
that was like a slick Rick Kangol.
It wasn't even a Kangol.
It was like one of those the Kangol with the extended chef hat brim thing.
I ain't like it.
Half slick Rick, half rerun from What's Happening.
Right. But all it does is give you a hot head. It's not blocking the sun or anything like that.
I got duped. I had
that's
a leather
what led
hat.
to the flat tops.
And I wore it.
Push it. Yeah, it's a flat top starter kit.
Flat top starter kit. So you take your afro, you put it in his hat, and when you take it off, you got a flat top.
I gotta say though, if you set aside Ron Delirious for obvious reasons, the scene that made me laugh the hardest of all the movies he made had to be him running across the freeway in Bowfinger. I've never laughed so
How many got? All right, good. Let's do it again.
All those guys are stunt drivers. They said you're doing really good.
Wow. They're going really fast.
Really fast.
Don't worry about it.
The guys were crossing themselves.
The Mexican day laborers that were the production crew.
We're gonna get the finest crew that Buddy can afford. And he pulls up to Home Depot or something, opens the door.
Oh no, they went to the Mexican border.
Hey, can we just take a second and say how Bowfinger had in a very small role Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yeah,
as the studio exec. Hey, Bobby Bowfinger, and he had the car phone with the cord going in. And they can see. I mean, they can see this was totally full of crap. And I believe he had a strap-on ponytail.
Yeah.
Was a clip-on ponytail. A strap-on would be bad. That's what you do if you're a furry. You put on a strap-on ponytail.
What was his
name? You see what I did there?
Yeah.
What was his name in the movie? Kit what? Kit something.
Oh, Keep It Together was Kit.
Yeah, Kit. When he played the
Kip.
famous.
His name was Kip.
But that role was funny too. I mean,
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare. You see what they're doing too. And the guy's like, yeah, I kind of see what they're doing. Shakespeare. I'm a. Oh my goodness, man.
Dialing it back real quick. This is just a little bit of personal.
Oh,
history.
Jiff Ramsey. His real name was Jifferton. Jifferton.
When Boomerang came out.
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh, the start of sexy Eddie Murphy.
Okay, Ralphie went out on a date with this young lady.
Hey, that wasn't me.
Okay, somebody who looked like Ralph had went out on a date, and they went to go see both Boomerang. We came back to the house. We were all chilling in the hot tub, and she said that the character of Eddie Murphy's character in that movie,
Marcus,
reminded her of me. She was like, the way you are with women and stuff is going to come back and bite you. And my hubris at that time was off the charts. Like, I was like, first of all, I didn't even see the movie. Second of all, ain't nobody going to get me. I believe 2 years later, I got.
Yeah, you did.
I got something terrible. Just like Marcus. I was all hugged up. I was crying.
In the bed.
Ralphie had to go ahead and talk me off the ledge, man. I was about to.
Come on, man. It's just a chick. You didn't even date her for that long. What are you doing? All right. Yeah. It was hilarious. Kurt got boomeranged.
I got boomeranged.
He didn't know he was going through it until afterward. Talked about the ledge.
And the funny thing is, and the first thing I thought about when I got back to normal was the girl 2 years prior telling me.
Yeah.
And I remember her name was Elise. Again, it wasn't anybody you were dating, but this chick named Elise told me that this was going to eventually happen to me because I was just out there living my life. I was living my best life, and I didn't give 2 squirts of monkey piss, and I got boomerang, and it sucked.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us, man.
Yes, it does.
I got my pimp's heart broke too, so.
Well, Boomerang was one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies.
252.
Adonis, pull yourself together.